I'm going to talk to you about 3 different areas in which you can make changes and apply strategies to help with the management of irritability. Now, if we think about our glass, what we're doing with these strategies is we're trying to encourage a gap at the top. We're trying to put things in place so that the cup never gets quite full and that there's always a little bit of reserve to deal with the unexpected and to deal with the triggers of irritability. Giles Yates, in his lecture on this website, talks about the impact of relationships on people after a brain injury. And the reason that's so significant is because relationships are unpredictable. Other people are unpredictable. We can apply a level of control to most things in our life, but when it comes to relationships, we can't control other people. And often it's that unpredictability that just pushes the glass up to full. We're not ready for it, and the brain has to put a lot of processing power into managing the unpredictable. So if we can engineer day-to-day life where there is always a little bit of a gap, a bit of resource, then we can deal more readily with those unpredictable elements. So the first area I'm going to talk about is the external environment. And by that I mean everything outside of your body. Completing one task at a time is a good rule of thumb because it reduces the processing power needed by the brain. If the brain is working through one task, it requires less energy than if it's working through 2. So trying to focus on one task at a time, complete that task before you move on to another one. Or if you are interrupted in the middle of a task, take a moment just to write down how far you've got to, what you still need to do, and asking if you've been distracted by another person, asking them just to give you a few minutes just to finish up, and then you'll come and deal with their request. But focusing on one task at a time can be incredibly effective at keeping that glass half full instead of close to the brim. Secondly, think about reducing distraction in the environment. Don't try to have a conversation when the TV is on. Don't try and address a problem when you've got another priority that needs your attention. Try to reduce those distractions so that all of your energy, all of your attention is on the task at hand. And again, that will just keep that glass with a little bit of reserve. And we use the phrase, take the strain off the brain. Now, what that means is any strategy that you can employ that means you're not holding information in your head. So at a really basic level, it might be keeping a diary or a list of things to do so that your mind is not trying to hold that information whilst it's doing something else. It's in the book, it's written down on a piece of paper. You don't need to be actively thinking about it while you get on with something else. So anything that reduces the attention that the brain needs to give, the energy that the brain needs to give to a task, is going to, again, free it up. It's going to keep that glass half full instead of pushing it to overload.